you remember back in the 90s, tennis fans, there was one man who was basically dominating everything, and it got a little bit boring, didn't it? But here we go, here's the man himself, Mr. Pete Sampras, looking very happy with himself there, and his lovely curly hair. And it is lovely curly hair, isn't it? Pete Sampras Tennis, Pete Sampras Tennis, should I say, on the Sega Mega Drive. And it's good. It's good. It's good. It's got lots of options. That's always good. Challenge mode, tournament mode, world tour, and a tutorial, which is basically just a little video. You can't really train. It's not a training thing. Set your number of sets. Loads of players in this. Not particularly all real players. We're going to play as Mr. PT himself. And name yourself as well. You can even name yourself. You can't do that in Super Tennis. I do like that. Lots of customization options in this game, which is really nice to see. Name yourself. Different courts all over the world. There's so many different courts on this, so many different tournaments, world tour, multiple double settings there against computer, 2-player mode, 4-player mode. It's brilliant. Lots of good open options to keep the things going well. And as you see, look at this, look. So many courts you can play on, all the different opens. Wimbledon is there, Sydney Open, US Open, French Open, and all the little tournaments in between, like Indian Wells and the Miami Open and stuff like that. So it's really, really extensive. It's great to see that. We're not going to play someone ultra hard here. Let's play someone who's a little bit more lower down on the rankings. I don't want to get absolutely caned. I mean, it's yeah, Mr. Patel. Mr. Patel. We'll play him. A little bit of multiculturalism. It's very nice to see. Novabag versus Mr. Patel. Mr. A. Patel. Graphically, it's very, very nice. This I do like the graphic style of it. It's so clear, really clear. Lots of open play spaces here. The colours balance is lovely. Little animation of the crowd there. Sound effects. Live scoreboard at the back. Yes, it does look a pretty picture indeed. Animation is rather wonderful as well. If a little bit slow and ponderous, but the animation is really lovely. As far as the mechanics of this game goes, well, it's not the sort of like pop back, pop forward, pop back, pop forward, positional based bollocks like that. It's more, it's going for a more realistic sort of feel. It's going for anticipating a shot, knowing where it's going, because you really have to look. You can see you have a proper swing there on the ball. What a beautiful shot that was, Peter. Sorry, Novabug, me. That's me. He's not Peter anymore. He's me, Mr. Bug. Oh, I missed that though. Well done. Anyway, yeah, there's lots of swing on the ball. A lot of animation cycle is quite long-winded, so you've really got to anticipate stuff. It reminds me of future games such as Virtua Tennis. It seems to have that sort of trait to it. It's very familiar to the way Virtua Tennis plays. I'm not surprised really, considering it's Sega. This, I know it's on a Sega platform. This wasn't done by Sega. This was done by Codemasters. And that's the thing about a Codemasters game. It does have that sort of little bits of detail that you really like. Look at the motions in the crowd there. The ball boys, of course, move around the court.
Second service.
But then, I've got to say something about that. The audio is pretty good. I do love the audio to this. It's the amount of sample speech in it is phenomenal.
14,
So it's really
15.
good on that factor. Unfortunately, the bloke that they've got doing the voiceover sounds a bit like, you know, it's almost like when you phone up to pay the gas bill and you get an automated robot. That's what the
40,
computer serve. Computer to serve, like that. It is almost like Hal, very similar to, it's a very ominous voiceover. I've got Hal officiating my tennis.
Player 1 to
Saying
serve.
he's going to kill us. He's going to suck all the oxygen out of the bloody court in a minute.
Love
Oh, Mr.
15.
Patel's caning me there, but that was alright. Serving. When you get to
Love
serve in this game,
13.
you've got two options to serve. You've got an automatic serve. You can press C for an automatic serve, which you can't really do much with. You can't really position it well in different places.
15,
But you've got a
13.
manual serve, and your manual serve is really good. You can position your manual serve really accurately.
15,
Oh, God, I didn't get very accurate there, though. I need to get further into the court, and that's another problem. which I'll talk about in a minute.
Game, computer,
So when you serve,
computer, leads by
position
3.
sideways,
Game, 2,
forward,
love,
backwards, and it
computer,
depicts the
to
hardness
serve.
and the strength and the length of the shot and direction of the shot. And when you're doing a manual serve, you've got a lot of options open to you, and it's really,
Love,
really
15.
fine. And I like it. I like the fact that it's really, really fine. You can get some really excellent quality serves out of it. What did you do in there? That was out.
Love,
But Sampras
30.
sort of like strolled off and then strolled back on again. Huh. Collision detection on this is sometimes a bit funny. Like I said there, I just took a
Love,
shot there and the
40.
ball didn't seem to actually hit my racket or anywhere near me. So it's a little bit
Second
forgiving and things like
service.
that. Quick to move on from second service and stuff like that as well. There's a dive button which is separate. I mean, a lot of tennis
40.
games will automatically activate a dive. This doesn't do that. You have a separate button to do your dive like that. Oh, beauty! Oh, but I completely mucked up the bloody follow-up.
30.
So,
40.
sometimes you can just use that whenever you fancy. If you think you're going to miss the ball with a standard shot, you can just use the dive button, which I think is it's an option that doesn't really appear in a lot of tennis games. Normally, it's just the dive is automatic, but it's not automatic in this. I completely missed that one.
Game,
Sometimes you
player
forget you
one.
can even dive.
Player
That's
one,
I think
serve.
that's the problem with that, because it becomes a separate shot on its own. So it's an unusual thing to
Love,
do.
15.
Now, moving around the court on this, it's a bit touch and go. Moving sideways is fine. I find it's easy to sort of like match with the speed of the ball and the way the shots are played towards you. Moving up and down the court, not so much. As you can see there, I keep doing it. The flight of the ball sometimes is so much slower than you think it would be. And scaling's a little bit off as well. It doesn't really scale the ball enough to sort of give you the feeling that you need to come into the ball, and all of a sudden, bang, the ball bounces short, and you're so far away from it, and you can't run close enough to the ball that quick. It is about anticipation, I get that, but like there, I thought I had that, and the ball just died daisy cutter style, and it happens a lot. It's the only problem I have with this tennis game, actually, this Pete Sampras' tennis game, is the fact that the ball seems to die quickly. You can't judge it correctly sometimes due to its kind of fluctuating speed and a little bit of not dodgy scaling, but inaccurate scaling, should I say. When you're at the back, it's quite difficult as well, because the sprite you're playing is now really small, too small for my liking. Maybe it's because the camera angle of this, the way they look at this tennis game, is so high up.
30, 15.
It's kind of the angle I like, but I think what they've done is they've made the sprite at the back a little bit too small. Ow, come on, ball boy was running after me there.
40, 15.
Come on. I tell you what, the realism of the shots, the sounds of the shots, the sounds of the court atmosphere, I do like that. It's got character to it. It's certainly got a lot of character to it. I can see why this was rated a quite high game back in the day, and I think it's a more accurate to the actual game, I think, more than Super Tennis is, more than Great Courts is, more than Smash Court tennis is. They all have a little bit of a rubber band reality when it comes to tennis games there. This tries to be as realistic as possible with the little cartoonish look to it, and I think it does pull it off. A lot of the time when you try and get too realistic in these early tennis games, it didn't work, and it just failed in a lot of levels, and it just annoys you. This doesn't annoy me. It works well. And they've got that balance right. I think they've got that balance between realism and rubber band reality, sort of good. Massive court area, I do love all the details. There's lots of bespoke options in this. The audio is fantastic, apart from Mr. Computer Voice, he's the sort of guy that would bore the hell out of you.
Player one.
Hear him talking. He's quite, Computer to serve. What are you doing, Pete? I'm losing my mind, Pete. These balls are everywhere.
Game player 1. Computer leads by 4.
I'm losing.
2,
Oh, God.
player
Nova Boo
1 to serve.
and a Pate. That's according to the scoreboard. Shot sounds are really nice, though. He's not the Superman, though. He's not the Superman that you think he is, though, Mr. Sampras. Some of the higher ranked players are really really difficult. You can't really get the ball past them at all, and then
4.
some of the speed of the shots that they do, it's so fast, too fast. After a while, you will get used to the way this game works and the sort of the pacing of it, because it's certainly a shock to the system the way it's paced. The animation style is something you've got to take into account when you're making your shots and planning your shots. It's all about anticipation, but graphically, I think it's absolutely wonderful. Graphics, like I said, the only niggle I got on that is the small sprite size of your player at the top. That's a bit annoying and a little bit difficult to pick up nowadays. And the audio, I think, is fantastic, especially the sound effects. The sound effects are really good. The clash of the balls, the crowd cheers, and all that kind of stuff. So, Mr. Sampras, yes, this was a very decent game. 1994, incidentally, this came out. So, yeah, if you're a Sega fan, and you're kind of sick of Virtua Tennis on the later platforms, this is really good.
Out.
Oh, out! It was out with authority there. Out with authority. Nearly took Mr. Patel's head off. Anyway, Pete Sampras Tennis on the Sega Mega Drive, 1994. Very good, very good. Championship points? Maybe not, but it's okay. That's the end of that game. Cheers. Nova Bug.
Computer.
Out.